Austrian Anders Helbl has been working on the European energy efficiency market for more than 20 years. He came to Ukraine at the beginning of 2000s and since then has closely monitored both the growth of energy-efficient projects and the development of green energy.
Ukraine has started several times, this is my opinion, has started already 20 years ago to have the first initiative with a third slowdown, also caused through international crisis.
In fact, the country joined the Green movement after 2009. And over this short period of time, Ukraine has become the leader in the sphere of energy production from renewable sources in the post-Soviet expanse.
In principle, Ukraine is a country which has all natural resources that can be used for renewable energy exploration. You have a lot of water, you have big waters, big rivers, you have smaller ones, you have mountains, you have the Carpathians, you have seaside regions with a lot of potential for solar energy development. When you compare it to other post-Soviet Union countries, the diversification in Ukraine, in principle, is relatively wide, which I consider as positive. Diversification means also stability, also in the energy supply structure of a country. It is good to have a diversification in renewable energies. You can have hydropower, wind power, solar power, and some other sources, geothermal energy. The renewable energy sector at the moment is driven by the interest of foreigners and Ukrainian developers because of the very favorable feed-in tariffs and support mechanisms for renewable energy developments.
Ukraine received a new impetus to the development of alternative energy as a result of the actions of the Russian side. After all, the contract for the transit of Russian gas to the European Union through Ukraine ends in 2019. Meanwhile, the Russian side is trying to put into operation gas pipelines bypassing Ukraine. However, in the issue against new gas pipelines, in particular the Nord Stream, Ukraine is supported by a number of European countries, such as Poland, Moldova, the Czech Republic, Slovakia, Denmark, the Baltic countries, as well as the US. Today, the Russian side supplies about a third of the volume of gas to Europe, and this dependence encourages Europeans to look for alternative sources of energy.
One of the players in terms of energy security are the renewable energies. Therefore, we have a lot of development in all countries of the European Union and in general in Europe. If the progress is continuing, we will come to the point that we are more free from all these political influences on society.
Today, Austria is considered one of the European leaders in the production of energy from renewable sources. It took the country almost 30 years to achieve such a result. Today, hydroelectric power accounts for the largest share in the production of energy from renewable sources, which is more than 37%. In addition to that, almost 33% of the energy is generated thanks to biomass.
We had much more time in Austria to develop, of course, this mechanism. So it's important to educate our children and the young generation, so that for them, sooner or later, it will be very normal to install a solar plant on their roof. Yeah.
In addition to the extraction of green energy, an important component of modern energy policy is the task of increasing the efficiency of its use.
it becomes a standard element that you have somehow renewable energies involved. We are starting now, and Austria is very slow in this, we are starting now driving electric cars, so everybody is thinking of how to generate electricity from my own car.
Austria's energy conservation policy is determined by contractual obligations as a state party to international treaties, as well as membership in the European Union. For Ukraine, the association agreement with the EU and the prospect of membership became the basis for the development of energy efficiency.
The last years were quite active in terms of development of the legal framework based on the initiatives, or let's say the agreement to the initiatives of the European Union, and to contribute to these initiatives like within the Energy Community Treaty. Ukraine has developed a legal framework specifically in certain areas, which is contributing positively to the development of an energy efficiency market, mechanisms for creating private investments in the residential sector, for example. Ukraine has also created a market that might be attractive relatively soon also for private investors in the public sector, public building sector. At the moment there are initiatives by international financing institutions to promote this sector, like this energy performance contracting for energy efficiency rehabilitations in public buildings. And the interest is already here.
Ukraine has already implemented 30 EU directives and continues to work on drafting 3 new laws of Ukraine aimed at developing energy efficiency.
I think it's a good guideline on how to proceed to improve energy efficiency and to work towards a target. And these goals need very clear mechanisms to be achieved. For example, the Energy Efficiency Directive of the European Union is giving a very good guideline on how to achieve these goals. Of course, this is a combination of institutional developments, of legal developments. It's also a contribution of through promotion of investments in certain areas, the private sector promotions, and when this all plays together, these targets are reachable.
Today, foreign partners are ready to invest billions of dollars to upgrade infrastructure in Ukraine. The greatest interest is in projects on heat and water supply, as well as on weatherization of public institutions. Furthermore, non-government organizations are playing a very important role in promoting energy-efficient projects in the regions of Ukraine.
When I started in the early 2000s, there was barely communities or representations available. Today you have very critical and well-functioning NGOs, very positively acting. And this, for my opinion, is very important for a country because it's critically reviewing what is happening on the country and governmental level in legislation development and in all the sphere of institutional framework creation. This is the new generation that is in principle driving our development and will make sure that Ukraine is heading towards sustainability in the future.
The Energy Efficiency Foundation of Ukraine, which began working from January 2018, serves as one of the key instrumental bodies in this initiative. The foundation's work is regulated by the legislation of Ukraine, and its budget is formed at the expense of the state budget and international partners. Since the start of the year, these funds amounted to 1.6 billion hryvnia. Their targeted purpose is the implementation of thermal modernization projects, the creation of efficient heating systems, and the replacement of existing equipment. In April 2018, the European Union, the International Finance Corporation, a member of the World Bank Group, and the German government signed an agreement to allocate an additional $50 million for the work of the foundation.
From my opinion, financing is one thing that is important, of course, and financing at the moment, at least there in Ukraine, is in principle available. Yeah? The next thing is the institutional and legal framework, which is certain areas finished. It took quite a while, but it's in certain areas finished, in other areas maybe under development, but this is a parallel process. What is more important is to create the understanding and awareness among the public sector, in terms of municipalities, to understand that every kind of energy efficiency project that they are developing within their city, in their community, is their own project.
The Energy Efficiency Foundation can be one of the instruments for implementing initiatives aimed at improving the energy efficiency of buildings and energy saving in the regions of Ukraine.
Here there is a lot of positive development. There are very good examples. We are working with municipalities. Several municipalities have a very clear understanding what they would like to achieve. What is needed is a little bit of the support in terms of how to implement it. The interest is already here. This we have verified and we have analyzed, and this interest is given. Now it's up to the communities also to create contractual models and contractual environment that allows private investors also to go this next step and really going into energy performance contract.
According to Anders Helbl, energy efficiency is an investment in the future. After all, such projects increase safety, create jobs, and improve the environment.